The annual general meeting of the Berkshire Hathaway company is done and dusted for 2017. We've listened for the last 6 hours to Charlie Munger and to Warren Buffett have a conversation about the state of their company, the state of the world, and really the environment in which they operate. Christopher Clerk with Standard Bank is here. I mean, it's not a bad trip, really. 20 hours of travel to come and listen to these old topics. It was good.
It was good.
What did you like about it?
I enjoyed getting to hear in person Warren Buffett speak and Charlie Munger and see the interaction between them.
And we were within 50 meters or so. I mean, I think that's pretty close proximity.
Yes, and I think the vibe as well of all the shareholders there, it really is an event.
But what's amazing to me is that the oldest shareholder there would have been in their 80s, and there were several over 80-year-olds, a whole bunch of people between 60, 70, north of 70. But there were young people there with kids. I didn't hear one scream, I didn't hear one cry. Either they were captivated or drugged.
And there were quite a few youngsters in the audience and diversity from across the world, Bruce.
What do you make of the quality of the questions from the floor? I mean, there were some pretty interesting questions on issues of governance and the way in which the company works and the way in which the company is going to make its money into the future.
Yes, so I found the first session had much more interesting, much more in-depth questions, and maybe it was a journalist-based. The second 3 hours of session I found a bit more peripheral, I think it was, but interesting, and they gave a lot more of their life lessons and their life learnings and what they would have done differently or not. Less around Berkshire.
Yeah, lots of talk about succession though.
Yes.
And this is something that's really interesting because succession has been a key topic probably since these guys turned 60.
Yes.
Warren's turning 87 this year, Charlie Munger's turning 93, or 94 even. They are getting on. And Munger defers to Buffett a lot. I mean, Munger is beginning to show his age, perhaps.
Yes, yeah. So Warren really ran with the AGM today, as I imagine he did in previous years, but maybe more so today than in previous years. And on succession, I mean, it was interesting to hear their thoughts. They said that there's more than likely to be someone who comes from within Berkshire Hathaway.
Yeah.
Someone who's been in the business for a number of years, but they didn't rule out an external successor.
The biggest nugget for me out of what they were talking about today was the fact that how resilient they believe they are to crisis.
Yes.
So a 2008 style crisis, they believe they'll weather it. The only thing they think will destabilize them, and then it'll be the least of their worries, is something like a nuclear issue if somebody manages to work out how to kill millions of Americans in one foul swoop. And there are plenty of people who would like to do it. Nobody's found a suitable mechanism to deliver death and destruction on that sort of scale.
Yes.
Otherwise, it's a robust, diversified, highly profitable, well-run organization with multiple companies run autonomously.
Yes.
It's a good story.
It's a great story. Charlie Munger, I think, said it well when he said that Berkshire Hathaway is structured to handle stress. That's how they built the business, and they're the only company with the scale that they have that can do big reinsurance deals of the scale that they've done recently.
Okay, if you had $248,000, would you put it into one Berkshire Hathaway share, or would you do greater diversification than that?
That's a good question. So they are sitting on a stockpile of 90 billion of cash. I think you have to ask what they're going to do with that. That is almost a seventh of their portfolio.
Yeah.
And although they talk about repurchase of shares or paying out as dividends, they've made the case that that cash is sitting at 100 PE ratio plus. So would you want to invest a seventh of your money in cash? I'm not sure.
Okay, so you wouldn't necessarily buy a Berkshire Hathaway share at this point in time?
Maybe not the A's, the B's at that price,
now, the B's,
with a bit of diversification.
Okay, so there's a dual share structure. The
Yes.
A shares, which are the big expensive ones, are $248,000 each. The B shares, and I suspect many of the people in the audience today would have been B shareholders,
Yes.
they go for around $200 each. And you can actually, as a South African investor,
You can.
through a stockbroker, buy some exposure to the thinking of two of the cleverest people, richest people in the world.
Absolutely, you can. I think their business model is very good. I think that this brings it back to, as a South African, what currency should you be invested in? Where are your liabilities? And where do you best place your money? So this is a very focused stock portfolio. Berkshire Hathaway, very successful, but it is a US company. And you, as a South African citizen, are your liabilities sterling-based? Are they rand-based? That should more determine your asset investment.
Okay, look, Christopher Clerk, thanks very much. Christopher Clerk from Standard Bank. I'm Bruce Whitfield. This is a very pretty part of Omaha in Nebraska. We've walked down the old main street of Omaha, Nebraska, and there are plenty of places where one can relieve one's thirst, because listening to two old guys talking for 6 hours is exhausting. You think it's exhausting?
And a bit of travel in between.
And travel. We've worked hard.
We have worked. I think we've deserved
you deserve a
break.
beer.
You too.
I deserve it. He deserves a beer. Even Tom
Tom deserves a beer.
He deserves 2 beers. Thanks for watching. Cheers.
Cheers.